tried to come up with my own idea how to teach fluid art, because by this time I didn't know anyone who would. But I spent so many nights trying to make it perfect and trying to make it simple enough. So when I opened my first classes 2 years ago, my first thing was I said, guys, I personally guarantee that no matter what is your level, you come, you will enjoy it, and you will leave it with a great painting. So, and that worked. Since then, I'm doing a lot of classes. With quarantine, I had to move online, which originally I said, oh my gosh, no way. I cannot do it. But yes, I figured out the way how to do it. I rechange everything. Now I have online classes, courses, like Hadi said, YouTube. I'm doing my podcast in Russian. I mean, but the main thing, I actually come up with a really cool idea, which called Art Relax. Because when I started to deal with fluid art, I very soon figured out that it's not just the painting itself which brings so much attention. It's a process. Like that's exactly what happened with me. I wasn't drawn just to the result. I really was drawn into how the process going. And originally I thought, okay, that's art therapy moment right there, because when you take the paint and you never painted before or you painted before, it doesn't matter. I have students whole levels, but still, when you just do like making the paint flow, when the paint starting to mix, when it's starting to get in your hands, you all of a sudden you see all this beauty arising and creating the great painting. You like, wow. So literally you getting yourself out with this. And I understand that it's way more than just a regular painting where I was sitting and painting with oil. There it was way more technical. I still love my oils, but that's totally different. So I thought it's a art therapy, but then uh, very fast, all art therapy said, no, 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 no. That's totally different. And if you want to be art therapist, you need to have a master in that. So it's like, no. I was like, okay, no, but I can get it, right? So I checked their information, and I understood that it's not what I'm looking for, because art therapy, it's to heal someone who already have the problem, some physical, mental, some problem. And therapy, art therapy will help with this. I'm not about this. I'm talking about all of us, normal people who just constantly under stress. Look at the last 30, 40 years. The life speed up so much. I mean, we used to say, wow, Caesar, he can multitask. Tell me who today cannot multitask? Anyone. We're all doing 5 things at the same time, right? And keeping the sixth one in mind, and we know where we need to run. We're writing it down. We all on the go constantly. But that's create enormous stress. How to relieve this? Some people drink, some people smoke. I figured out I can do art relax to help people to get the stress out. And then it's turned out that in some techniques, I actually just looking at the final painting, I can tell what is the personality of this person who I never met before, what is how he feel today. Like literally it was so on. Now it's like a show. I'm doing it in my podcast, in my classes, and I'm spot on, because those paintings, it's like a magic. It's telling the story and I can read it. So that's really cool, but that's an addition. So that was something neat which I discovered and I enjoy. But this was a nice introduction. Now, I'm doing all of this with a fluid art. fluid art, that's a main subject in all my classes. Basically, all my online classes, they are based on fluid art, and I'm teaching fluid art in all the techniques. Most of the people thinking about one or two techniques max if they know what is this. Actually, a lot of people still calling it acrylic pouring and thinking like, no, it's not really art, right? Because we remember the old times when the acrylic pouring was such a boring thing, and only kids in the kindergarten would just pour the paint and do the mess, and that's it. It's used to be this way, not anymore. Now, when we got a really good acrylic, now when we got a really good fluid roll, which helps the acrylic to flow, but the main thing, we got amazing artists who came to this field, and some of those works so amazing. They're right now in museums. They're doing great. I mean, some artists doing incredible things with a fluid art. I personally know about 30 different techniques with a lot of variations. So it's not just one tiny, simple thing. No, now it's big, and it's getting bigger more and more because it's very easy to understand if it's explained right. The problem with this is that a lot of people just trying to learn from YouTubes. The thing is, it's like with my grandma cooking, she was amazing cook, but every time she was cooking, and someone would ask for recipe, she will give the recipe. She was really good about this. The problem with this, she would always omit something. So I remember when my mom was complaining she never could recreate that thing, right? So it's never would be the same as my grandma. So only when she was living with my mom and couldn't cook anymore, then she started to say, you know what? You need to add here that thing, and that will make the difference. So that's exactly what happened in YouTube. Everyone trying to keep the secrets and show just overall idea, the impression. They're trying to sell themselves. It's basically that's how it works, right? So when you don't know those tiny secrets, you're trying to create the same thing and you get basically not really good paintings. When you're spending the time and materials on trying to create something which you cannot create, it's usually ending up pretty bad. And after like few tries, you just like whatever, and you forgot. And you don't want to touch it anymore. You don't want to deal with this. So you just put it aside and never touch again. And there are not that many fluid art artists who's teaching it. So I guess, I mean, in all this area, as long as I know, I'm the only one. I do have my students from all over America. So I have some international students. So it's really cool thing. So today I will try to share my passion with you guys. Hopefully you will feel the same way. So the first cool thing about fluid art, which you need to know, can be used almost anywhere on almost any surface. That's really cool. I will show you what, like an examples and all this later, but first, let me tell you what exactly fluid art. Fluid art is the way, like it's an option to do abstract painting when the acrylic paint, when it will be liquid, it started to flow, mix with one of each other, and it's create a painting. So in some techniques, it's created by itself. In some techniques, you need the tools. So it's really, really, really depends what you do and how you're doing it and what techniques you're using. But if you want just enjoy the paint, it's possibility as well. So that's abstract. So please don't try to look at some resemblance, because sometimes you will find it, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's just in your imagination, and that's cool too. But let me show how you can do the fluid art on the ceramic, for example. You see, it's a simple ceramic,
Ah.
and look how beautiful it looks. I have few students who's really big in the ceramics, and they loving it. They doing it themselves and creating unique pieces. This is the best thing about fluid art. You cannot recreate or copy it. It's every time you will do the same recipe, you will get something different because you will have a different mood. You will have different even the same paint, you know. It's unbelievable. Like I have two people, like usually it's happening with the young girls. They come in, they're like so young, and they're like, we best friends, we BFF, we want to do exactly the same. So they standing, they filling up the same cups, they doing the same things, same everything. They get in two different paintings.
Ah.
How? Because they're not that close, I guess. They're not that the
Ah.
same. Okay, now we coming close to the Christmas. Look what we did last Christmas. One it's a glass, one it's a plastic. So we can do that. That's fluid art too. We can do it on a metal. You see, I actually kept it this way so you can see it's metal and it still look really good. You definitely can do it on a wood. So right here, this is something small we've been playing with the kids, because mostly I do classes for adults, but sometimes, yes, I'm going in the kids territory. So by the way, if you can see behind me, this thing, that's a fluid art on top as well. By the way, you might see quite a lot of fluid art even without realizing it's fluid art. Right now, it's huge on the internet, a lot of countertops, floors. Whenever you see something unbelievable, something amazing, something out of this world, like, you know, blowing your mind, usually it's fluid art. More than this, what's become really big recently, you can take the painting, because of course you can do fluid art on the canvas, right? So you can take the painting, you can take the photo of this, because it's too small, you need big, right? You have a big wall. So you get the photo, you enlarge it. In Costco, you can print it on any surface basically, or on your favorite cup, or on a clothes, and that's getting big as well. So right now I can see quite a lot of people like putting the clothes, which I know it started as a fluid art. So
Mm.
it's really cool. Another thing, if you guys love jewelry or any of you doing jewelry, the way how to do it with fluid art, can you see that? Can you
Mm-hmm.
see that
Mm-hmm.
beauty?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that this one is basically plastic? So, and this is what, that's a leftovers, guys. So basically what happening when you pour, you have a leftovers. I usually use something simple like this, like a lining. And the, whatever is left over, I'm letting it to dry. Then you can cut it. And you can buy on Amazon or anywhere. Just, it's called trays. That's for earrings, for rings, for brooches, anything. You cut, you put it there. You put the glass on top or resin, and all set. You got beautiful thing. By the way, be careful next time when you're going to buy some jewelry, because it might not be a real thing. It could be fluid art. So it's really amazing thing, and you can do so many different things with this. The question how, right? And what paint we using? What is really in this? So let me show you. So this is a paint which I'm using usually. So as you can recognize, is a semi-professional paint, acrylic. I never go with a cheap one. I know it would work, but you know, when you're using the cheap products, usually you get the cheap result. So it's starting to crack. It's pretty dull looking. So I want my painting to be bold and beautiful and stay for a long time. So I'm using semi-professional. I don't need professional because they do have a lot of pigment and everything, but they're really hard to get liquid. So I don't need this. So these two things will work the best for me. I mean, I do like the golden, but I don't have the golden with me. This one, it's in regular Michaels, you always can pick up. Those definitely better than these ones. I know you guys all know that, right? Now, how we mixing, like with what we mixing, how we making it liquid. So the regular way to go is to use golden GAC 800. That's great thing. Actually, there is one more which a lot of people love. It's called pouring medium. Very cool, works amazing. The only problem is the price. So that little thing, which is not enough for me, even for half of the painting, cost $18. Yeah, too expensive because it's an art magazine, right? So it has to be expensive because artists usually rich, right? That's what they're thinking. Yeah, not happening. I'm not paying that much. What I'm buying, it's called fluid roll. This is to make liquid regular house paint. It works the same. It's chemicals. It's the same thing. The only big difference is the quality. So here you get really good consistency. Everything is great. Here you get clumps. So normally, and this is another thing I see on YouTube, people starting to pour and then they see the clump and they getting inside the painting, grabbing it, getting it out, destroying the painting and saying, I said never to use fluid roll, never again, blah, blah, blah. Okay, some smart people saying, not, that's not that bad. We can just use the strainer and no problem, right? Okay, guys, you can see how clean is this, right? So you can understand that I never use it. Because I mean, seriously, I need so much fluid roll. I mean, if I will be straining fluid roll every time, I use gallons, like at least gallon a day. So I really need a lot of paint. I can't do that. So what I'm doing, I'm saying, okay, if it's a big clump, I will just get the toothpick and I get it out. What the problem? If it's a small one, sometimes I'm intentionally leaving them in because they create really cool texture. And I have quite a lot of buyers who said, oh, I love how you created the texture. I'm like, what texture? Oh, this texture, yes. So guys, I mean, just, you know, what I like about fluid art, you can be relaxed. You must to be relaxed. I mean, just don't worry about who say what, just whatever you feel, let it go. Even the whole theory, how it should be, what it should be, I will explain everything, but sometimes it's really cool when you are not following the rules. You following your heart, you're getting way better painting than if you would. Like my students would see me sometimes breaking the rule and they are like, why are you doing? You just said. I was like, guys, that was the rule number one, number two, whatever. But the rule number zero, the most important, if you feel that way, do it. And then you will get really cool piece. So I'm really easy on everything. I never use this. I always use fluid roll and it works magic. By the way, guys, we are lucky in America because we are the only one who really have fluid roll because no one else in the world does. Australians, they do have fluid roll, but it's different. They call it fluid roll, but it's way different. They need to mix it with something else to get to what we have. We lucky. So why not to use that, right? Now, I already pre-mixed a lot of colors because I love to paint and I want to show you some techniques. But the main question, how I'm mixing it, there are tons of recipes on YouTube, and a lot of people using how they call that, the white glue, you know, the for the
Yes, yes,
spools.
it's white glue.
You no, it has a name, Emmer something, doesn't matter. So you guys understand what I'm talking about. It's this thing they're using
Is it Mod
water.
Podge? Is
No,
it
it's
Nope.
not
Mod
a
Podge?
fudge. It's Emmer.
Elmer's school glue.
Yes,
Elmer's.
yes,
Good,
that's
good,
the
good.
one. That's the one. So they're using all that, and then they kind of wondering why the painting is cracking. You're using cheap things, you're getting the cheap result. The thing is, actually, if you use a fluid roll, it's basically costs the same thing. But if you're using the glue and the water and the this, I think they need to use the varnish as well. So if it's possible to recreate the fluid roll, yes, but then you need to measure it, like really measure it. You need to have the weights, you need to have the special cups. I mean, it's complicated. Right now I'm trying to recreate this for my friends in Russia because I'm teaching in Russian as well, and I have my Russian courses and they don't have it. So I need to create that. It's nightmare. You doing a little bit off, like your recipe is off, you done. We lucky we can just go and enjoy it. But what is our recipe with fluid roll? I don't have recipe. I know how the final result should look, and that's all it's matter. So I'm taking a little bit of paint. Usually it's 5-1 or 4-1. It depends on how thick is a paint, because even the same paint, you see, that's why I hate the recipes. The same paint, and you guys all know, same paint, same brand, same everything could be thicker or thinner, just depends on how long it's been in that store or somewhere else, warehouse. So yeah, you look at the paint. If it's needed, you add a little bit more fluid roll. If it's not, add a little bit more paint. That's it. What I'm looking for when I'm done, it should flow from me, my stick. I'm checking with the stick when it's done. I'm checking it out, and it should flow like a warm honey. If it's just dripping like, drips, that's not good. You need to add more fluid roll. It's too thick. If it's running like a water, no, again, it's not good. You need to add paint. And that's how you get in it. That's easy. Yes, I know it's a big, huge gap between dripping and running. But guess what? Basically, you can be in any point of this. The only thing is, if you already decided that your paint is on a thick side, make sure all your paint on a thick side. Don't make the white really thick, the black really thin and all over the place. They will have a problem mixing together. Just make them the same consistency. As long as they're running, they're good. We can paint. What else we need? Any canvas, if you're using canvases. Like I said, I'm using, that's all my setting. By the way, what you see right now, it's my studio. I'm sitting in my studio. That's exactly where I'm teaching. So some of behind me, some of my painting, I have painting all over, because this actually, the table itself, it's a pool table. I was planning to sell it because yes, I'm in my living room. And my husband said, when I decided to teach the classes, we were thinking of selling this pool because we never really played. So I can put the normal tables. But guess what? At that point of time, no one want to buy it. And I was eager to start. And I said, okay, I will do the class like this. And it was perfect. Because one thing which fluid art requests, when the paint is already on, it's still flowing for like at least few hours. It's need few days before it will dry. So you need really level table. I was so lucky no one bought this table. I was really just, it was the best time. I mean, and you know, the funny thing, just after I had like few classes, I found about like one of the guys in my classes say, you know what, I will buy this. I'm like, no, it's not for sale anymore. Yes, no, it's mine, it's mine. Like everyone laughing at me, like, but now when people come into my studio, they see the huge table in the middle, but it looks very presentable, very cool, nice. I mean, it looks like gallery, like everyone think it's a really cool place to have as a gallery. I'm not sitting in a garage or anything, because sometimes I'm hosting the team buildings, birthday parties, so everyone enjoying it. It's really, really cool place. So what else I'm doing? I'm putting the pins, you see, like those.
Oh, pins.
Yes, in a painting corners, because when you will put it and you will be pouring, you don't want the painting to sit straight on a lining, because after a while it will just get glued to it and it will not look good. So when it's a little bit lifted, it's easy to take it out, but then you got all your painting.
Wow.
And this is a galaxy we did. This is one of the techniques which we use in hair dryer. This is what I love about the fluid art. It's actually mind opener. You can use anything as a tool. Let me show you some of the tools we're using. We're using spatulas for a lot of paintings. We're using those sticks. We're using one of my favorite straws to blow the things. We're using palette knife. That's actually my creation. I have actually a technique which I call the art, because that's the name of my company. Because I came as an oil painter, I love palette knives, so I cannot do anything without them. I figured out the way to use them in fluid art, and now it's a technique. It's my technique, and I actually like this one. It's done with this technique, and
Wow.
let me show, like this one was done with the same technique. So let me show more techniques. This is a 3 rings, which we're doing just with a cup. And guess what? The people who come to my very first class, this is a paintings with their living, something like that. This usually done on the second class. This is
Wow.
again, that's the same technique from that first, second classes. And this is a negative space technique. Look at this dragon. He's so cute, right?
Hmm.
And this is another one which just been done with basically people who never painted before. But look how beautiful, and you can look, it looks a little bit like Salvador Dali, right? You see so many details, you can see it and just think about it, right? And it was done really fast and easy. Something like this, again, that's could be done pretty easy, and we doing this with a beginners. And this one, it's a little bit more advanced. That's when we started to use torch.
Ah.
How cool is this? Who can paint with torch? I can. Now we can do the swipes. Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? And we can do a lot of different, I'm showing just a simple options. We can do a lot of things. And again, all you need is spatula or palette knife and silicone. Yep, we're using the silicone as well for those. If I need to play with the kids, this is usually paintings I'm picking up to play with kids because anyone can do that. Anyone. And I'm using the string like something easy, like very simple, very easy, and it could be done. If you want to do something more complicated, we can do the sea,
Wow.
and we can do the
Beautiful.
seascape, we can do the waves, we can do so many things. And if I really want to do something really interesting, I can do something like that. I can create something like this and cover it with resin. And you know what? People love buying something like that because it's really looks cool. You know, I'm not saying here that it's all easy and you will be done in 2 seconds. No, that's wrong. Because to understand how colors work, to understand, because I mean, you need to understand it as an artist. We all know that. But if you're in oil or if you're in acrylics, you almost have a time to fix it. We don't. You got it wrong. You got it wrong. That's it, basically. You just need to enjoy your mistake, try to do the best out of it. That's why I always teach a lot of different techniques so they know how to combine. So that's why I have beginners class for 4 weeks. I have free intermediate class, each one for for 4 weeks. And then we do advanced. This is when people are really combining different techniques, tools. But you want to see another cool tool? Check it out. You know what it is? Uh-huh, I know, right? Right? Sink drainer, definitely. But we creating beautiful flowers. You see this one behind me? That's how I did it. Just with this thing. Easy, right? Now, does this thing looks familiar to you? You must likely seen a lot of gardeners goes with this tool and blowing the things. We using this. And the hair dryer, that's the best. I actually love the best works is usually done with the hair dryers. I didn't bring any samples of this. I don't have anything close, but wait a second. Here we go. This is the simple one I have. That's a hair dryer. How cool is this, right? It's all done with a hair dryer.
Wow. And there's nothing simple about that. That's
It's not
spectacular.
simple, and you can do triplet, diplet, you can do anything you want. Different colors. You can go and be as good as your imagination and your technical skills. And it's a lot. It looks simple in the beginning. It's very simple to learn the just minimum and start playing with this. But if you really want to be in fluid art, there's tons of things to. I mean, I've been in fluid art for 7 years. I'm still learning the things, picking something new. I'm still on YouTube. So I'm still checking what people doing, what they putting. I'm still improving my quality, how I'm doing. Because you see, the worst thing is when you get your work right and nice one time, but you cannot recreate it next time, it doesn't work. I need to learn the way. So every single time I will do it right. And then I can teach. You know, my father, he is a professor of mathematics. He always told me, if you cannot explain something in few sentences, it means you don't understand this. Go study. So I remember that all my life. So I'm doing my best for my students and they loving it. So that's what we've been doing with a fluid art. I mean, I can show more and more and more. Same technique will look totally different on each one paintings. What colors you choose, how you put in it, what you doing. You know, the way how you put in the paint on will already make whole different. There is no two same paintings. Like I have the customers sometimes asking me, oh, now I need the second. I was like, sorry, too late. The only time when I can create two kind of the same is when I'm creating them the same time. Then I have the opportunity, not big one, but some opportunity to make them looking alike, not exact copy, looking alike. If you want a copy, go get the print and put it on a wall. That's how you will get it. So this is the this was my introduction for the fluid art. But before we go, I don't know like what time I am. I wasn't watching, but I do want to show how to do at least in few techniques. Okay, want to see it? Okay, let's go. So let me move this. So I have some space. Okay. So everything starting with filling the cup. I'm using usually, this is an 8-ounce cup and this is a canvas 9 by 12. I actually found that is the easiest for the students to learn on the small canvas. If you will go to right away on a big one, it will be just impossible. It looks like very easy when I'm navigating it. It's not that easy when you holding it in your hands. Trust me, just trust me on this. But first, we will fill the cup. Let me show you how it's done. So we have to choose which colors we using. And to choose that, I need to understand which colors would work with each one. So first of all, I will put the colors from, basically, you know, like we have three prime colors, and basically they defining my sectors, because we can mix two colors, we cannot mix three together. If we will mix together three prime colors, we will get that dirt, and this is one of the secrets. So don't forget to put the gloves. I'm always have this problem, that's why I never wear the rings anymore, because I constantly like, I did it again. I forgot to put my gloves. So here we go. I'm starting with white because I need some lightness to my colors. The white always bring the bright color, bright in any color. If I will not use it, all my colors will kind of drawn in the black and the darkness, and the painting will not be interesting. Now I need to choose which colors I want to go. First, I will go to energy colors, red, yellow, orange. Why? Because I feel this way today. It's my choice. I can go the way I want. So here we go. I'm going with very cool yellow, and I can actually add the neon yellow as well. I mean, I'm really open. Why not? Okay. And let me add some orange. I want some orange too. Oh, you seen that? That was a clump. It was a big one. I saw it. Yay. I need to get it out. So when I see it right away, that's easy. You see, that's a big, I don't need that thing. Yep, that's it. So you just take it out. No one's seen anything, right? Okay, now, by the way, never leave your paint on the table, because what would usually happen? You will get so many of this, something will flow, and you will have paint all over yourself. Don't do it. You got it, put it back. Put it back. And I always put the mixed paint in those containers because they're really good. First of all, it's easy to mix. and it's easy to store. Like this, they can stand for the month and nothing will happen. So now I'm putting some red.
Is that pure paint in there?
It's already mixed paint. It's paint
A
and
4-to-1 or 5-to-1, so paint and
it's a
flow
4 and
chalk.
5, depends on the paint, depends on that each
Thank you.
specific paint. But you see how it's flowing the same way. They
Yeah.
all flowing the same way. Now I'm putting the black. When I'm moving from one, like from the two colors, two prime colors to another two prime colors, I'm always putting black to separate them. So my black, and by the way, this is the only paint which might be a little bit on a thicker side. That would be fine too. But you can see how they're flowing, right? You can see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's no dripping or no running water. Now, I can go to another two prime colors. I can start all over again. I will choose green and yellow. No, yeah, green, blue, yellow. Let's go like sea colors. Okay, let's start with blue. I'm putting some blue. And you know what? I have one more blue, which I really love, phthalo blue. Love the color. Let me put some of that. You see how it's flowing? It looks so nice. And when you do it yourself, by itself, it's already meditation. Just put the music. And I usually, when I have my classes in, I'm putting some French music, French and song, and it's like, so cool. And everyone's just relaxing and smiling and talking. I mean, too bad I cannot provide the drinks. But that would be perfect. But
cheers.
Yeah, it would. It actually will work perfectly. But no, I cannot do it. It's too complicated to have it. And on top of this, I don't want people to get in any trouble when they're driving from my home. So no drinks. But now on my online classes, I see quite a lot of my students coming with a wine. And they're like, yeah, we having a party. I was like, guys, you too loud. What you drinking there? Like, wine. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi. My name is Midhavi. I have a question. What kind of containers are those? Do you have a name?
Those simple. Let me try to find something where you can read it. Just 1 second. They're all dirty. I'm sorry. I'm looking for the clean one. That's pretty clean. So basically, this is for the sauce which you buy in dollar store, and it costs $1 per container. Look, the best part of it, let me put it aside. The best part of it, you open it up like this, you put in the paint, you put in the fluid roll, you clean it, you closing it, you mixing like this until it become real and it done. But when you open, you close, it stay closed. This is the best. I'm the only one who's using this. That's mine.
Is this for some kind of drink or something? Like, is it like, where do you get it? In dollar store, you said?
What?
I'm asking, where do you get it?
In a dollar store. It's
in a dollar
cheap.
store.
I mean, you cannot go cheaper than this. I mean, you see, I'm from former Soviet Union. So even Hadi said I have like 7 figures. No, I didn't have the 7 figures. I used to work in a bank. I used to be a manager and finance and everything. But no, they're not paying 7 figures. And the cost of living here, you need to think twice before you buying something. And for a long time, this was just my hobby. So I had to make it with a, reasonable price. And now for my students, I don't want them to spend a lot of money. So I'm always looking for something which relatively cheap, but giving the best results, quality versus, being right? Quality and quantity. I'm always trying to work with that puzzle. This really works. Okay.
It really is good. Thank you. Thanks.
You're very welcome. Okay, now I'm putting a little bit yellow as well. Why? This is one of those things I shouldn't, but it works, and I really want to put it. If I want it, I'm putting it. But the technique called flip cup, which means I'm going to flip this cup. So whatever is on the bottom will be on top. So that's when people, like I have my students, I'm telling them, before you fill in the cup, you need to think, yes, we're not going to paint right now any horse or doggy or tree or anything. I mean, if we will get something, that would be cool. By the way, I've seen it sometimes happening, but you definitely need to think about what feeling you really want to get from this. So do you really want something in a sea? You know, like lately I see more and more of my students creating sea type of, you know, paintings with a sea feel in the blues, you know, just because a lot of people really want to go to Mexico nowadays. They're really tired sitting home. They need vacation, right? So before I used to see way more energetic paintings. Now they're a little bit less, but it is what it is. I'm just going with this. So usually, and I see constantly, my students, they they saying yes, 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 then coming to the end and like, can I please put whatever color? I really love it. I was like, yeah, definitely go ahead, put it, but no one will see it basically, because whatever will be on the bottom, it will be covered with another layer of something which is right now on the bottom. It's flipping. Okay, let me
Okay.
how it's done. So you take your cup like this. Isn't it beautiful?
It
It's
is.
yummy
It
by
is.
itself, right? You take your paint, like canvas, you cover it in the middle. You put your hand on top, turn, let this hand go. And you basically partially done. Now let me lower it so you can see what's going on here. 1, 2. Before I open, let me tell you how to open that. If you will just open, you know, first of all, if you open too fast, you can just spray the paint everywhere and it will not be enough for this canvas. If you will just start dragging the cup, it's actually will start damaging the paint. Paint will start mixing. Our main goal to make sure that all those beautiful colors basically stay intact. They're not mixing. They still look bright and cool. So 1, 2, 3. And look at that beauty. I know, guys, you're on a mute. You can't even say anything, but I know you like it. You know, that's why I really enjoy to have the team buildings. Somehow people, when they end the work, but they have those classes, they so good about saying, wow.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Does it look cool when you have this in your hands? Look how it's flowing. It's amazing, right? And what I'm doing
Just
right now,
wonderful.
rotating, normally I'm not rotating. I'm just doing it for you so you will be able to see it.
It's mesmerizing.
Absolutely. And it's
I can see a
yours.
little fish right there.
Yeah.
Yes. And you just created this. And you know, you should see the faces of the people who told me 5 minutes ago they cannot paint. They never painted before. They always thought the painting is boring. and horrible and they shouldn't do it and whatever. And they all standing like, oh, wow. I love those moments. Now, one thing which you need to know, what is the paintings really fluid art hates, it's when you doing something like this. It's beautiful, right? But look at this. The moment you do that, you get your dirt. So that's why you need to be very careful about what you're doing, how you put in it, how you mix in the colors. So I figure out the way to teach so people will get it right from the first time and not get anything looking like a dirt, like you just seen. So but this is a result, like nothing special. You said, I just did it. And it's not because just me, everyone can do it. Isn't it cool? I think so too. And let me show one more thing. Let me take this thing out and, oh, I shouldn't remove my glasses. Oh, my gloves. Just 1 second. Let me show you one more tiny thing, which I think you will appreciate. Just a second. Let me put it to dry. By the way, I need to cover the corners. I just don't want to deal with this right now. Let me show you one time this beauty. And let me take it away. So look at this. Look at my table. Isn't it gorgeous? On my Facebook, I have my group art classes with Zlata Rabinovich, and there my banner, it's the leftover from my first class. Someone took a picture, we put it on, we never changed that. I mean, with all the great paintings we're doing, I'm still having it. Because, I mean, it's cool, everyone loves it. But let me show you something different. So you remember I said we can do it on anything. So how about having the magnets like this?
Wow.
You see?
Yes.
See that?
Yes.
Okay, let me show you more. And that's easy to do. Like right now we have a holidays coming. We're all getting some presents. I mean, in the gallery where I'm selling my art, I mean, one of the hottest items is those magnets because they look cool. And look how easy to do it. Let me show you. So here we go. That's a leftovers, right? So I'm taking my magnet and I'm putting it like this. Oops, here we go, my magnet. What I do, I'm just checking for the spot. And here I am.
Wow.
Look how beautiful it is. And now I can play with this to get it right. And let's think I don't like it. Like, whatever. I don't feel it. So I'm just cleaning it. And I'm trying again. I'm saying, okay, let me try this side. And here we go again. Do you like that? Should I keep it or should I keep trying?
Keep it. Now, how long do you have to play with it?
Okay, with this one?
Yes.
Okay, so basically I have at least few hours.
Oh, really? With both?
With this,
okay,
the leftovers, at least few hours. And you know what, like when I have a team buildings with 30 people, come on, yeah, by the time we're all done, it's at least 3 hours gone, right? So, and it's all cool, and I'm pretty sure it might actually stay longer than that. But the painting needs to dry for about 3 hours. The biggest thing, after it's done, it's need to be flat and level surface to dry. If not, it will start running. And I had it the first time, my very first painting, successful painting, where I was so proud of. I left it on a table. And being Russian, we usually kind of like, okay, I checked, it looks pretty straight. Good. I left. I came after 2 hours. My painting was already on the table. Like basically all of it. I was like, oh my gosh. So I got my husband with a level and made it absolutely straight. So now I have it straight. Now I have the place to dry it. People who's taking it home, that's the biggest adventure because they need to drive it. And the first thing we figure out that you shouldn't drive it on your laps because I got yeah, some people would put it on the laps and then they would call me and say, guess what? I got really cool designer short now because at one point they do this, right? And then a lot of people like me thought that if you will put it just on the, on a seat, it would be fine. No, it's not. It's not level either. So in car, you can put it only on the floor or in trunk. But again, in trunk, you usually have something else or something falling down. I mean, it's end of story. Like every time when I have a class and people driving from me, you can put the police car right here and they will stay without any like they will not make any money because everyone driving super slow, super careful, really nice. Yeah, because they need to drive it home, they know. So, but yeah, it's such amazing experience. I know, guys, you on other side of the screen, you didn't had it in your hands, but I hope I did it the way so you could feel how amazing it is. That's a feeling when in your hand the paint is moving. It's amazing. And me, I mean, I've been doing it so many years, and even like right before this, I had a class. So you would think I'm done, right? But still, I had to add some color. Why? Just because, sometimes we have this eager to try something different. Definitely, when I'm doing some real serious work, I never start with this. If you would allow me, let me show you a little bit around my studio so you would understand that what I was showing you right now, it's all just techniques. If you want to create the painting, which worth to be on the show, it's not start like this and it's not end like this. It starts usually like most of your paintings on a table with the pencil or few pencils just going, and you need to get the idea of what you really want to paint. Then you put in the colors together, thinking about how and where it would work, and just put it in color pencils or acrylic or something just to get the idea. Sometimes on a small scale. I mean, when I had the commission, I had to do 2 paintings 6 by 4 feet. I mean, it's been enormous, 2 of them. I definitely had to start with something small first to figure out how it will look, how that would work, which techniques I can use. So when I have the idea, when I know the colors, then I'm starting to think of here I need to use this technique, here that would work. And I'm trying on a small canvas and see how that really works. Does it give me that effect? If yes, then next level, and I'm going on a bigger scale. So let me take you around and show how it looks in my studio. Just 1 second. So some paintings are still oil or with oil, like Can you see that? I mean,
Yes.
the lighting is horrible. Like some you can see it's definitely oil, right? But some it's not. Okay, let's move. So here I have more fluid dart. I'm trying to figure out how to put it. Okay, this one. That's a fluid dart and fluid dart with oil. That's a combination.
So now, do you paint on top of the fluid art
Yes.
when it's dry?
It's acrylic. Why not, right?
Why not?
A lot of people don't do it. I mean, as long as I know, I'm like one of you who's doing it. But look how beautiful this.
Yeah.
And by the way, this one, it's actually have a kind of like a sculpture thing on top. If you can see
Wow.
the texture. Because again, I'm big with a palette knife. I love it. Still love it. So let me show you that way.
Wow.
So they're pretty big, as you can see. It's really big, and they have a lot of texture. You look close.
So now, is that poured and
It's
painted?
a pour and yes. It took
Wow.
me almost 4 months to do it. But some of this, like this one, this guy, I wanted to do the portrait. But guys, if you will look at this, you will see two ways to look. It's a portrait, but it's like one, the eye is here and here it's covered with the hair, right? But then you can look at just one face, right?
Face.
So it's kind of like was jokingly done, but I like that. That's again, that's pouring. That's more my oil. So that's a pouring again. And by the way, this thing was featured in newspaper. And
That
then,
has does that have resin on top?
yes.
And do you
I do play with resin sometimes.
okay, and so it's a clear resin that you pour on top and similar technique to spread it around because it is clear. Okay. Do you seal your paintings with polyurethane?
Yes, it always has to be varnished. Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
and you remember I said about me doing that little
Wow.
thing. Look how beautiful it is. It used to be white. This thing used to be white, and I bought it in Goodwill for $15. Right now because I needed something. Gosh, I can't put it the way so you guys see it. So I needed the thing to hold my paintings. So that was right size. And I just cover it with black, and on top I put my fluid art.
Wonderful.
Looks amazing.
All right, I have one more question, and then if anybody else has, do you always start with white or black? No, sometimes you start with red or okay.
Yeah, usually when you are a beginner, I suggest to start with white until you will figure out how the paint works. Because a lot of people who start, I mean, with you guys, I skip totally the whole color theory and everything. But normally I do teach people how to do the colors, the color theory, the basics at least. And the more they progress, the more I give them. I do teach them composition because they need to understand this. Even it's flowing, but when you start doing the techniques, you need to understand where to put what and how it should work, how the things need to be compared to each other and all that thing. One thing I don't do when some people ask me, okay, perfect, can you start teaching me acrylics or oil? I say, no, guys, and I send to one of you because I truly believe that you guys will do way better job with that than me. Not because I don't know how to. I just truly believe that everyone needs to do what he knows the best, and he has a passion, or she has the passion. And my passion right now in fluid art, and I really swung by this, as you can see. I mean, this is the best thing ever can happen to me. And I know I changed, guys. You know, it sounds maybe not right, but You know, I never really had a lot of photographs before, and rightfully, just because I never looked, I think, that good as I am right now. Now I have a lot of photographers friends, and they constantly taking my photos. I love it. I love it, and I love the that I in my age I can be like this, because I'm really happy, because it's not the way how you look. It's not basically what is out, it's what is in your eyes, how they like, you know, look at how young they are, like how excited you are about what you do, and when you really enjoy what you do, it shows, and people
Yes, and
feel it.
you are a perfect example, because yes, you're shining and you're so passionate, and we thank you for sharing this beautiful your beautiful fluid art with us.
Thank you for being. I'm really honored to do this. I was
Thank
really
you.
hoping to meet you in person, guys, but the quarantine, but
Mhm.
it is what it is. We're doing the best in this situation, and I think we're doing it pretty good now.
Yeah. I
Zlata,
have a question. If you don't.
Yes.
Hi. I have a question. So, I mean, it may be a silly question for you because I work on watercolor, so I don't know much about it, but I'm really fascinated by abstract art. And I just love, love, love what you did. I just want to ask you, like, how do you, like, once the colors are all dried, then do you pour resin on it? Or how do you, like, when do you
So,
pour resin?
yes, it has to be dry. I mean, no matter what you do, what art you do, you have first to make sure it's dry. And luckily, acrylic dry way faster than oil. Normally, with
Yeah.
oil, Hadi can tell you, you would have to wait like at least 6, 7 months before you will try to put any varnish on it. It's really
Mhm.
neat, especially if you go like me with a palette knife. Sometimes I had to wait like a year before I varnish it,
Whoa.
the resin. But with this one, usually I wait for a week. I mean, after 3 days, it's already dry, but I usually prefer to be extra careful with those.
Mhm.
I already seen what happening when you put the varnish when it's not completely dry, and resin it's even worse. So
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
resin is pretty
Thank
tricky,
you.
but it looks cool.
Zlata,
And do you also take like online classes?
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's
Okay,
actually
if I can get
my
your
next
information, that'd be
session.
great.
My next session starting in the first week of December. So yeah, I do. I definitely do.
Oh, perfect. I'll contact you for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would really enjoy to teach you. Thank you.
Great.
Zlata,
Thanks.
the
Yes.
leftover you have on the table, if it dries out, does it peel off?
Yeah, you remember what I was showing you? You
Because
remember
I think if you,
about the jewelry? I said the skin, which you can do a lot of things.
yeah.
That's it.
Oh, so it peels off whatever you have. I can picture it
Yeah,
on the window.
that's it. That's it. Exactly. You see, that's it. That's how you're doing it.
Yeah,
When it's
I can picture what you have, peel it off and put it on the window. It would look so nice. Seriously. Seriously.
absolutely no problem. I can save it for you.
Yeah, good. Put Audie's name on that stuff. Perfect.
Sure, no problem, no problem. But you know, yes, sometimes it looks amazing, and you know, sometimes I had few accidents when my paint, leftover paint, look even better than my painting, and that was really bad. And then I knew I did a bad job, right? I shouldn't be that way. So, but yeah, it looks amazing. I know. No matter what you do with this, it looks amazing. The but you know, it's two different. That's what I actually wanted you to get the feel. It's two different things. One, it's a fluid art, and the result. So when I'm teaching to get that result, what you need to do to get this. But the process, if you need just you stress, you want to relax, that's my art relax class, and what it takes you there. When you will already know how to get it yourself, you will get through the process just learning fluid art, but you don't need to go all the way just to get that idea. I mean, when I was doing the in-person classes, I used to have quite a lot of people who would constantly come to me to the same class. And I was like, you can come for more advanced thing and learn something new. And they're like, no, 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 no. This one. And, you know, really, I'm enjoying myself. And I know, like, sometimes when I really feel bad, things happening, right? I'm a normal person, things happening. One of the things I do, I'm going to my garage and just starting to pour. And I'm not saying it will fix everything, but it's definitely takes stress out of me. And, you know, when you're looking at the painting, which you just created, which actually kind of showing how you understand things right now, what just by colors which you use, the thing how everything laid down, so it makes you to understand yourself better. I already had few people who made big decision in their life just based on what I saw in their paintings, and I told them, you know, yes, those paintings, they talking to me. I can see it, and this is amazing. I love that. But the main thing, people themselves feel so much more free and calmer. And when you calm, all of a sudden the right decision come into your head, and everything takes the right place. Because I mean, unless it's the saddest thing happened in your life, everything else it's possible to fix. Or you
That's
can
one of the beauties of art, I believe, is that yes, it's a release and you free your mind, and your demo was just wonderful. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Any
Thank
other
you guys for
questions?
having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was really great. Thanks. I'm glad I could join.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you. I really appreciate for having me. I really enjoy that. Thank you guys.
Thank you.